Peace to the family. It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Daily energy reading for June 26, 2019. The title of this video is Illusions of Glamour. It's a play on word taken from the common phrase delusions of grandeur. Something that we take as like just a fact of life, right? The bigger the house, the nicer the house, the nicer, the better, the more prettier we look, all of this better life that we're seeking. And then we're infusing our spirituality to get to this point. Well, in my spiritual journey, I came across the word glamour. And I spoke on glamour before in previous videos, uh, but I don't know if you're gonna call it spirit or my soul was telling me, okay, we need to revisit glamour because there's a lot of people who don't know anything about glamour, and glamour is their actual rule for their spirituality. So I was like, okay, because two things happened. I got a video. Two things happened yesterday. It was a video that somebody commented on my glamour video that I'll put in the description after I'm done with this video. I did a whole video on glamour, and somebody commented on it yesterday. I was like, that's interesting. And then something kept like hankering me, like about the NBA draft that just happened. And something said, look at the first three picks and just look at their first names. So I don't know why, but the first three picks are Zion, Ja, and the third pick is somebody named RJ, but his real name is Rowan. So Zion is the center of Jewish thought, or the city from which David came from. So Zion is a strong word in Jewish mythology, so much so that they call them Zionists. And then Ja is a play on words for Jah or Yah or Yahweh or Jehovah or the Tetragrammaton, which is the god of Jewish religion. And then Rowan, RJ, that's taken from the Rowan tree. And the Rowan tree is said it's a Scottish mythology that states that if one was to carry part of this Rowan tree, he was able to see through glamour, because glamour is a Scottish word, and it has been usurped in English as grammar. So glamour and grammar are the same words. And our idea of glamour is something that's very much taught to us at an early age. So much so, many of us went to grammar school, right? Grammar school, or had a grammar class. So they teach it to you as a young age, very, you know, like it's part of the education, but what it does is controlling your mind to only see magic and not see life for which it stands. And we'll deal with that, and we'll try to break this down, and we'll try to kind of break through some boundaries. So the source for glamour is taken from, let me see, get it in the camera. You can see this book is nice and read through, nice and tattered, and all of that. This book is titled The Revelation of St. John, The Path to Soul Initiation, Understanding the True Meaning of Apocalypse by Zachary Lansdowne. This is one of the best books I've ever read in my whole entire life. I just keep reading it, and it keeps proving its worth. So today we're going to be covering chapter 13, which speaks to glamour. I don't know if, glamour and Maya. So most of us don't know much about this, and so this is why this conversation is going to be somewhat difficult to grasp or somewhat easy to grasp depending on where you're at. And so the reason why we're bringing this up outside of the coincidences, but where I find that this conversation aligns with this new moon energy, where we're discussing the ability to think for yourself, right? And part of thinking for yourself, you have to dispel illusion. You have to dispel glamour. You don't think for yourself if you're trying to build up this glamour, if you're trying to build up this illusion. And so if it's something that's ingrained in you, that you've been taught this at a very early age, then you can't separate illusion from truth. So, and in order to understand this, we have to kind of go through these points. And after we go through these points, then we can kind of jump back into the astrology and talk about how this astrology bodes well for us if we're able to look at this. Because for you personally, as a person that's like, okay, I'm gonna be up on this, I'm gonna understand this, it's good for you, because a lot of people are not. And what they'll do, instead of understand glamour, instead of understanding illusion, they will shadow project on your ass, right? People will shadow project on your ass. They're doing it on social media now. You'll see it in your real life. You are everybody's problem. Everybody has an emotional reaction to you, and you just like chilling. So before I go any further, let me just say peace to everybody that joined me on the live. I don't know if y'all still here, but let's just go through this. Peace to Ronnie, peace Honcho, peace Saturn, peace Shireen, uh, peace Rebel, peace Lashana, peace Tiara, peace Ronnie again, peace Chuck Real, peace Straight Panther, peace Jazz, peace Jess, peace Ronnie again, peace 3 times Ronnie. So yeah, welcome, and let's talk about this, because I really am doing this for a reason, and I've literally written down, day after day what's happening astrologically, so we can get a full glimpse of it. Because if I was to sit and just write everything that's happening within this week, or speaking up to this new moon and this solar eclipse, like, one video, one article is not enough. So I put out the article for the July 2nd solar eclipse, and now the daily energy readings are speaking up to that energy. So if you want to get a little head start, a little sneak peek, you read the new moon. And if you want to figure out how to get to that point, or that ability to think for yourself, then just follow these daily energy readings, and it will be very easy and very seamless. So far, we've discussed the point of no return, crossing the threshold, as Mercury travels through the third degree, and the day after that, we discussed the point of it all as Mercury transited the 4th degree. And today, we'll discuss illusions of glamour as Mercury transits the 5th degree. So, Mercury at the 5th degree of Cancer is speaking to karmic readjustment, right? So, we had spoke in the new moon video how karma is personal, and the problem with karma is that we feel like we can dictate or differentiate everybody else's karma. This piece, this is peace Christina, peace Di. And so we feel as though karma is somebody else's problem. Like, something needs to happen to white people, something needs to happen to rich people, something needs to happen for poor people because they've been poor too long. And, everything should be worked out for them. But when it comes to us and our personal karma, the things that we know, right, where karma in our minds could be, I need to have a husband, but your soul would say you're better suited with multiple partners and being single. So if your personal thing, based upon the movies that you watched and the Prince Charmings and all of that, is something that you like, well, I need to have a husband, I want to have a husband. You could be 40 years old, never been married, and feel regret and feel negative illusions based upon your reality. Meanwhile, it could be somebody your same age and your same position, married and going through hell. And so these two things can exist in the same space and time. And the whole point of it is understanding karma versus dharma. Dharma is saying, I cannot solve your problems. I don't know what's the right thing for you. All I can do is focus on the things that my soul tells me and moving back to that adjustment. So karma, in studying it, is an analogy would be a leaf is supposed to stand straight up. But in our ignorance, we pull this leaf down. We bring it down. We begin to bend it down. And if you bend a leaf down, you don't break it. And the moment that you let it go, it snaps back. Now, if you push it over a little bit, it's just going to slightly adjust to the center. If you pull it all the way down, then the force and the energy for it to go back to the center is going to build up. So once you finally release that plant, it's going to shoot up straight. So karma within itself is the more that you go off the path, the more that you stay in that relationship, the more that you stay into that job, the more you go against the soul, the more that that energy builds up. And so karma becomes very toxic and very brutal if you go against it for too long. But you don't necessarily have to even deal with that. You can always follow dharma and never have to deal with karma at all. It's just only when we want to go against the grain that karma then shows up. But once we realize that, hey, I can follow my soul, and following my soul is perfect, and there is nothing that can stop me from following my soul, decoding my dreams, and unifying my subconscious and conscious mind. This creates sovereignty within itself. This creates magic within itself. This creates solution within itself. Therefore, I don't have to do a spell to bring things into my life because things are already in my life. I don't have to do a love spell. I don't have to do a prosperity spell. I don't have to go down south and meet with a root worker to bring my partner back to me and all of this crazy stuff. And so, little side note, karma is when you do spells for your partner and then they work, right? And say you do a spell for a wife or a husband to be in your life, but dharma states that that person is supposed to be somewhere else. Well, you're on the ticking time, like you are slowly pushing that branch down, and the more that you keep that person in that relationship with you based upon karma, based upon glamour, illusion, and spell work, the more that karma builds up that energy and then it snaps back. Men, we don't know anything about what women do on the spell side, on the magic side. We really think that you really like us or really into us, or we could be so insecure within ourselves that, we're open to your spell work. And so once we fall into that particular trap and are in it, we don't know how to get out, and we really want to get out, but we could be really under a spell and really, like, build up anger, build up resent because we understand what's happening. And a lot of women think that we don't. And so once that spell is broke, then it's very, very ugly. So that's just something that I've seen in this conscious community over some time. And it really speaks to karma. It really speaks to glamour and really understanding what this thing is. So what is glamour? And so I'm gonna just run through some quick notes on glamour and then jump back into the astrology. And these notes, like, I skimmed through chapter 13 like 10 minutes before this video. I apologize about that, but um that's why I was late on the live, because I was kind of refining these notes and looking over these notes and realizing that I had a whole chapter dedicated to glamour in this book. So what is glamour? If you never heard of glamour, glamour is the feeling and emotional reaction to physical life. Like, this cup of coffee. This cup of coffee is really nothing. The emotional reaction that I have to the cup of coffee, that once I drink it, and the mental abilities that it's going to give me, or, you know, I was very sad or very down and out when I woke up. Not I was sad, but just, you know how you feel like groggy, and I knew I had to do this live. I had an emotional reaction to this coffee. Now, if it pepped me up or if it didn't pep me up, it's something that I believe, you know, it's something that I've attached to this cup of Americano with an extra shot of espresso to give me that boost that I need. So whether it is or not, it's a result of glamour. It's a result of illusion. Illusion gives glamour its power of deception because it controls the personality via glamour. And glamour is like, well, he got on a $3,000 suit, or she got on a $5,000 dress, or she looks good, she's lost weight, she's sexy, he's sexy, he has on nice pair of shoes. Like, you know, all of these things represent glamour, and what they do is not make. So my thing was always like, when women would tell me they want a man with nice shoes, my retort would be, so a fucking crazy person can't, like, all crazy people wear fucked up shoes and all good people wear nice shoes? Like, where is the logic at in trying to discover what is actually the perception versus this person looks good? And so glamour and this life is the authority for judging the worth of whatever is perceived. The house is better now that it looks better, or the car is better because it's newer. The relationship is better because this person is more attractive, or this person has more money, and all of these things. So therefore, glamour is really dangerous if you're in a relationship with somebody and you could be like, I love this person loves me, but this person's eyes be somewhere else. Like, homeboy be all on Instagram, you know, liking all the women shaking their booties and all of this. Like, this is like very popular on Instagram. There's a lot of women like really showing their butts and like being sexy and doing yoga, butt ass naked, and doing all types of shit. This all results into glamour. And the emotional body, following the lead of glamour, desires external circumstances to validate him or to validate her. Anything external is going to make my life better. This is a result of glamour. It's not actually fact. And you can't really prove it to you niggas until you actually get it and you're not happy. This is why when it comes to readings and people that I talk to that seek counsel, they're like 45 and up. And they've accomplished everything that they wanted to accomplish in life, and they realize that there is something more, and they don't have what they were looking for. They got their college degree, they got their bachelor's, they got their master's, they got their house, they got their car, they got their family, but they do not have their soul. They have everything that glamour is. Glamour, illusion, all this world is. No, glamour and illusion is not all this world is, but it's a large percentage of what we think this world is. And if I get through these notes, I'll have the whole crux of it. And it's not that long. There's a few more lines. So glamour appears attractive because it offers respect and judgment from others. So if I came on here this live and I had a nice haircut, you know, fucking dressed that, like I've done it on this YouTube channel. I know how to give myself a haircut, you know, brush my hair to get it nice and wavy, throw on a nice, you know, one of my best shirts that I stole from my wife's dad, you know, one of them nice shirts that the old dudes be having. Got me a nice tie, and I came on here every day. It's just very much glamour. And people would like me and gravitate to my channel for nothing that I say, right? It's a lot of people who don't give a shit about nothing that I say, watch this channel faithfully, but they like my appearance. So I've been kind of mindfully not giving myself a haircut during this week, during this transit, not really caring about how I look. I really care about the information that I'm putting out. I find that that's very important. Not to say that not taking care of yourself and looking good is not important, but you have to understand why you're doing it. If you don't understand why you're doing it, then you're a subject of glamour. And if you guys just give me a few seconds, I'll be right back. Okay. So, glamour does not have power. You give it power. Like, this cut is just a cut. But if I have it in my mind that this is gonna pep me up and this is gonna wake me up, then now I've given this cup power. All of these, anything around you, like your relationships, ain't really anything except for what you give it the power to give it. The job, the money, the car, the house, everything that you have set up in your mind is based upon glamour. And glamour is based upon grammar and is based upon the words that you use. And the words that you use is based on a particular context of the society for which you are brought up in. City grammar and rural grammar is completely two different things. Well, if we were in a rural country, we would be talking about our horses, our farms, I'm talking like in school, teaching you. I would teach you about your farm, I would teach you about your horses, I'll teach you about your pigs, and you could learn your world based upon your environment. You got 10 neighbors, you go to school with 15 other kids. This is your glamour. Now, you could grow up in New York City and have a whole completely reality being taught to you in the different words. And then this is where you get like particular ebonics and particular things that people say, like, oh, you bad as fuck. And depending on who I say that to, that can mean completely different things. So, bad within itself, it doesn't mean anything, right? It only means what you give it to. Like, bad could mean effeminate, right? If I study my etymology, I know that bad is an effeminate word that you could really curse your son. Like, you could be like, I got this badass little boy. And the spell in saying that your kids are bad, especially your sons, is the grammar, and glamour is turning them into effeminate. It makes them effeminate. So much so Michael Jackson had a song called Bad, right? And before that, you would never even possibly have viewed him as who he turned into be. But if we go around talking about how much he bad, and you know it, everybody know it, it's morphing and turning him into somebody that's effeminate. It ain't making them tough, you know what I'm saying? And then you have like particular things like a bad bitch, and what does that mean? And so you could go on and on and on about how words are very, very empty, and the only thing that exists within a word is our emotional reaction towards it. Like, on social media, people will call you a narcissist, and you'll be like, all right, you called me a narcissist. Well, give me the mythology on narcissists and narcissism. Give me the psychology. Give me, why you would even use that word. And 10 times out of 10, if you do the study on narcissism, you realize it's everything to do about you. It don't have nothing to do about another person. Even if you are with a narcissistic person, there's something in you that attract that narcissistic person. And if you don't correct that, you'll hate him and get a whole new relationship with a whole nother narcissistic person. So therefore, in studying etymology and getting to the crux of the words, you take away the emotional reaction. Even so, if you're just a man and somebody calls you a narcissist and you don't have any defense from it because you don't necessarily know the words, it's just the emotion behind it. He's a narcissist. And then she tells all of her girls, he's a narcissist? Yes, he's a narcissist. You're a narcissist. And it's like, well, what did I do to become a narcissist? Like, We don't know, but the emotions attached to this word are very strong, and this is how we can tear you down. Narcissists, get them. You know what I'm saying? And it could be a whole slew of words that you could attach to that. You could have narcissistic for men, and then you could have whore or slut for women. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a whore, and it's like, what made her a whore? She hurt my feelings, and it's like, oh, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not necessarily what a whore means, but okay, but you're hurt. So therefore, in studying glamour and really seeing through the fog and getting to the truth of life, you have to grasp wisdom, and wisdom within itself is detached from emotions, and you cannot be detached from emotions if you don't attempt to detach yourself from emotions. So therefore, to surmise, to get through glamour, to get to understanding glamour, one would have to be detached from their emotions, and one would have to distrust all emotional reactions, life and circumstances. Very simple. It's very, very simple. Once you distrust your emotional reactions, you are aligning yourself with wisdom. The moment that you trust every emotional reaction that you have, whether it be happy, whether it be security, whether it be anger, whether it be jealousy, whether it be any type of emotional reaction that you have, if you're just angry and you don't examine it, then you're dealing with glamour. If you're happy, right? I met this guy. He's so great. I'm so happy. Glamour. Because the thing switches up. Hey sis, what happened to all that energy you had a couple weeks ago when you met that guy? What's going on? You still with him? Yeah, I'm still with him, but he ain't doing the same things he used to do at the beginning. Really, sis? So you was basing all your happiness on what this man was going to do or not do? Yeah. Damn, that's hell. That's prison. And that's like not a good relationship, right? You're not even a good partner, because you're not basing it on truth. You're basing it on emotional reactions. So I come the first date, pick you up in a limo, take you to a 5-star restaurant, give you A1 conversation. They come out playing the gondolas and shit for us. It ain't even your birthday. Take you out after we leave dinner, walk along the boardwalk, the pier. It's all lit, continue with this A1 conversation, take you out dancing, live band, might be mint conditioner somewhere. We just get in our groove on. We have the greatest night, the greatest date you ever could have, but I just got a voucher for my job and I just wanted to do something nice for you. For real, I live in a studio apartment. I take the bus back and forth to work. All of this is the truth about me. But I created this grand illusion for you to like me. Therefore, like, emotional reactions. Learning to distrust your emotional reaction can get you straight to the point of the person that you're dealing with. No matter what you're going through in life, no matter what circumstances that you're going through, having an emotional reaction to it is a result of glamour. And to finally surmise, because illusion cannot be recognized without the illumination of the self or the illumination of the soul. This is why understanding glamour is one of the key components to developing the ability to think for yourself. So, astrologically, dealing with Mercury and Mars, and as Mercury inches through each one of these degrees, I find that it's going to serve us a greater purpose in discovering each and every point as much as we can about Mercury in the space, because it's going to go retrograde. So all of this energy is going to have to be backtracked on. So it's in shadow now. So everything that is experiencing now, you'll experience later. So if you are in a space where you're able to think for yourself and you're past the threshold and you're ready to move forward, when Mercury goes retrograde, you can continue on. If you haven't learned these lessons in the shadow point, and if you haven't taken note to the shadow and its presence in your life to make changes, to tap into your greatness, to move forward in truth, then this period is going to be hella tough. So one of the things that's difficult with this is discussing this and really dealing with it at a psychological, psychic level, collective consciousness level, and really studying it. Get not like really studying it and making sense of it, and then putting out the content, writing out the articles, putting out the videos, and then people close to me like, "Hey man, what the fuck is going on with astrology? Like, what's really happening with me?" And it's like, I can't tell it to you simply. I can only tell it to you in this way. So even to my closest friends, this is not something that I'm doing on YouTube for views. This is a real life conversation from me to you, and what's actually happening if you are going through this particular spiritual transformation or spiritual awakening, and what it's actually saying based upon ancient understandings of Vedic astrology, just ancient ancient way of thinking, and it makes sense to me, and it's bringing revelations in my life. But then again, I'm not caught up in the mundane, and I realize how people are caught up in the mundane, which is them being caught up in the illusion or caught up in glamour. So Mercury being sextile Uranus is at a particular point 11 degrees of Aries, which speaks to the centralization of power. So if Mercury is sextile, if Mercury is sextile Uranus, then a sextile means effort. So if we are able to dispel the glamour or the illusion, what's left is the centralization of power. And so if you were to break down each level of your existence, it would break down to a small central core nuclear molecule within you. It's called the Bindu seed. Very small, it's very unnoticeable, but it is in full control of your reality. And if you are to deal with the most primal, the most simple, perfect, sublime aspect of you, then from that point, you would be able to expand. And so I guess this was John's cue, right? This is kind of what I'm speaking of. My son right now, he's approaching 10 months, but he was very microscopic at a certain point. And over time, he's expanding, he's growing, he's learning. And this is his nuclear energy. Now, I could be the kind of parent that doesn't want him to grow or doesn't want him to expand. Not to say that I don't want to, it's just the fact of I don't understand um who my child is. I only understand who I want my child to be, right? And so I say that to say that people are in relationships and situations where you're not being treated as who you truly are. You're only being treated as who you want, how people want you to be. And for the men, it's very tough for the men right now because where you could be taking care of family, you could be taking care of the household, you could be, you know, a strong man, but that's probably not everything that you are. You know, just a provider for your family. You could, have other sides of you, but your children only see you one way, right? Your wife only sees you one way, your husband only sees you one way, and your husband only sees you as the cook and clean lady. I better come in this house and it better be clean and you better have dinner ready. And you looking at him like, well, really, I want to strip. Like, I really want to be a stripper. I don't want to cook and clean all the time. Like, I don't mind cooking and cleaning, but let me strip 3 days out the week. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a example and a joke, but but it could be real for you. You understand? Like, whatever it is that's real for you, you need to kind of begin to examine it and look forward and really do it. The reason why is because Neptune is really approaching a sextile with Pluto. You know about this? You know about this, don't you? Uh, all right. So this Neptune is really giving us full access to the collective consciousness if we want to. And we're able to perceive the thoughts of many. And very simply, it is a full on ancestral channel. And you may not be able to connect to the ancestral channel. Why? Because you're too caught up in your life. You're too caught up in your life. Your life is way more important. Right. And so the idea is for us to get connected with something larger or something greater than us, and not to be so connected to the social network, but get more access to the spiritual network. And we are a part of the spiritual network. You are a part of something. You are not isolated and alone and judged and predicated on how fat your ass is or how nice your outfit is or how beautiful you are, regardless of any of that. It don't matter how cute you is, right? It don't matter how sexy you is. The fact of the matter is that you are connected, right? It don't matter what you look like. It don't matter how tall you is. It don't matter how smart you is. None of that is relevant when in factoring spirituality. Never once did you was in deep in meditation and the angels was like, I was gonna come bless you, but you too ugly. You sure is ugly. Like, Suge Avery type shit. Like, no, it don't work like that. But you really be in your spells like, I wanna lose weight. I wanna lose weight spell. I want a money spell. I want a career spell. I want to really deal with this illusion. I really want to deal with this glamour. And so that's what magic and spirituality has turned into. There is an inundation, right? There's all types of spirituality channels, everybody talking all of this hot spirituality shit, right? Where is the effects? Like, what do people gain from it? Right. And so and so the level that we want to reach, or the level that we want to understand, is that until we're ready to transform, then we don't necessarily know what to expect. And we don't necessarily know what emotional frequency to hold. Shit, we might not even know what language to speak in to get into this next level. The idea of spiritual awakening is to be an empty cup, right? To process this information as it's presented to us. The problem with that is that you can't process this information clearly if you worried about how fat your ass is, or how much money you got, or what you gonna do next week. How the party is going to be lit, and all of these different things. And to be honest, I deal with people like my closest friends. They don't want to deal with me on this level. They want to deal with me on a glamour level. It's like, I feel like people really feel like I just be saying this shit just to be saying it, and then they going to get close to me and we not about to talk about this shit. Right? That's hilarious. But what people don't realize is that this is just an extension or an expression of my real fucking life. I'm really about this shit. I'm surrounded by altars in this moment. You understand what I'm saying? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 altars surrounding me right now. and I'm working on another one. And it ain't saying that altars is more important than whatever, but it's just like I'm really serious about this spirituality. So much so that you're not about to glamour me up. Like I'm past that phase. We not about to fuck it out. You know, we not about to have sex on the low. You're not about to, flirt with me and do all types of weird shit with me. No. Past it. You can't show me enough ass to get me sexually aroused. One, I'm in a relationship. Two, what is a butt? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is your stinking ass going to do for me? Not even like you shit out of there. Like, I'm saying like just because dudes pay attention to girls twerking, that's because they're ignorant and they're stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're dumb. Like, why? What if I started shaking my ass? Like, I just stopped talking and started shaking my ass for this live. That would be like, you would be like, damn, you got real problems, huh, Mystic? Like, what is you doing shaking your ass, bro? Like, what the fuck? This nigga was doing a lecture, just stopped doing his lecture and just started twerking. Like, what? It would get views, but then again, it's beyond the point of reality. Who gives a fuck about how you look? like if you stuck at that level, like spirituality, I'm trying to grasp spirituality, but then I'm trying to show the world how cute I am, how sexy I am, how beautiful I am. Because once everybody comes to me like, you know what, Kyrie, you beautiful. Everybody know you beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna happen? Do I get a trophy? Like, is this Miss America out this bitch? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. But people will work out. People will beautify themselves and do all of this stuff and seek to be emotionally fulfilled, but it never emotionally fulfills you. How do I know? Because people still continue to work out. And it's not like a person that works out does not work out for emotional fulfillment. Like, continuously work out, like they already look good, they already got the 8-pack, they already got the abs, but they still going to work. It ain't for emotional fulfillment at this point. It's sustaining a particular quality or a lifestyle. Like, they're past that emotional point. And that's why some people, you ever see a person lose weight, then they just stop working out, like, jobs, I'm done, I feel good. You see them 2 years later, all the way back. And that shit make them suicidal. They don't even want to come out the house no more because they was done. They completed Mount Rushmore of life. They lost that 150 pounds or whatever their goal was. And then they asked stop working out. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So when we want to seek true emotional fulfillment, is something within us that has to be brought to the surface. And this thing is not easy to access, being that it's hidden, being that it's invisible, being that it's small, being that it doesn't speak, being that it's not loud and boisterous, being that it holds no glamour. The soul holds no glamour within it. It's not something to even strive for. But if you do find the soul, if you do come in contact with self, then this actual deacon of the moon, it will express itself in exceptional ways when you act upon it. Whether it's your poetry writing, your songwriting, your vocalist skills, your musicianship, your artistry, painting, drawing, all of these things. If you're creative at any level, this is a perfect time to begin to act on it. Bring your imagination into manifest, as opposed to that nigga ain't got it. He ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. The thing about people, right? They don't like you. And since they don't like you, they imagine that something bad should happen to you because they don't like you. So therefore, don't if you don't like somebody and you don't agree with somebody and that person piss you off, just give them their space and focus on you. And if you are accomplishing goals, if you did get something of high value, understand that the work is never done. Understand that tomorrow will be another day just like today, and we can begin to move forward. We don't want to just lose our 150 pounds and be like, I'm done. I did it. Where's the steak and cheese sandwiches at? Where's the cake? I'm done. You know what I'm saying? They don't even, we not there yet. So emotional fulfillment within itself represents the glamour. I got the award. I won this. I did that. And then 10 years later, it's just like, trying to think of an artist that was hot back in the days. Now, if they like Jaheim, right? Jaheim in the early 2000s would have walked down the block and shut down the whole block. Now, if Jaheim walked down the block, you'd be like, hey, man, how much for them incense? Right. I've been spiritually focused, so I don't give a damn about how I look. I don't care about my haircut. I don't care about my beard. I don't care how people view me. I only care about attaining my soul. Man, that's a level. That's a level. And a level that guys can easily get to. We make sense of it. But women, y'all have a difficult time. Let me blow this up real quick. So, guys, we can understand this very easily because life been kicking our asses for a majority of it, right? And certain shit we just don't really care about. Only until I got like my wife and I would look at her phone and realize like her applications and her advertisings on her phone, it hit way different than mine's. You know what I'm saying? Like it just hit different. It's just like really pulling you into some shit like makeup ads and, makeup tutorials and clothes and shoes and hair products and natural hair. Get you a quick weave. Like it's just all like it is inundated with glamour. Like, and the metaphor to glamour is applied to female fascination, where it's like she's so glamorous, she's so beautiful, she's just this, that, and the third. But you only know that's full of shit once you get those glamorous types of chicks. Like once you in that type of environment. So if we look at the Ten of Cups in the ancient Egyptian tarot, we see like a festive environment, right? All your Instagram pictures, like we turned up at the club, and it's like, say for instance, that's a goal for you. It's a glamorous goal. It's an illusionary goal. Why is it an illusionary goal? Because you niggas will not be turned up and partying in the club for long. After so long, you get drunk and it's time to go, and we don't get none of those pictures on the gram. We only get, the pre-game pictures, the club pictures. But what about when the party's over? What about when that liquor settle in? What about when y'all be fighting at the end over this, that, and the third? So this same festive event that people really strive for as a point of, oh, we gonna have a party, we gonna have a get together, it's going to be lit, it's going to be everything, within itself is glamour, because y'all not gonna party forever. The party going in, and then what the hell is you gonna do once the party end? I really don't like what, how you grow up and your friends would be like, all right, we about to go out, and you be like, cool, I want to go out too because everybody else is going out. You After so many times you go out with money in your pocket, right? That next morning you wake up You could have swore somebody done stole some money out your pocket. Like, what? Where did my money go? Like, where did my money go? Like, that's just my perspective, you know. And then it's like all of these things, people getting shot at the club, you know, all these types of things that happen in a club. What is it all for? You know, what is these festive events, and what is this thing to have? And is it a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing, right? To have a good time with your friends and family, it's not a bad thing. For it to be a goal, for it to be something that you strive for and to work for with the full realization that it's not even gonna last forever, that's the fleeting type of happiness, which is very short lived and has lots of ability to fulfill us. So glamour would be, I want this. Now that I have it, you didn't realize that it was going to be short lived. You didn't realize that it was going to eventually lose its ability to fulfill you. And you didn't know that beforehand. And this is why alchemy, chakra work, spirituality, all of these things only matter once you get past 45. You 30-year-olds, y'all still trying to accomplish life. Y'all still trying to be beautiful. Y'all still trying to make money. Y'all still trying to do all of the things that once you finally get it, it's not even going to fulfill you. So therefore, it may be something material. It can range from extreme as the latest car on the market to the latest PS4 game. We think we are going to find fulfillment in this for some time, but in the end, we get bored with it quickly and go on to the next thing. Some actually spend a lifetime doing this and become a shopaholic. Now, all of this speaks to glamour. It's just in different realms, in different ways. And that's why I love spirituality. That's why I love the study, because everything begins to connect once you be diligent in your studies. And this isn't something like, I didn't just start on glamour. I just didn't talk about glamour today. It's something that I've been talking about, but my previous understanding of it allows me to apply it in the present moment. So, in a relationship reading, it can relate to a loss of pleasure and what the relationship brings. And therefore, we either have to alter the dynamic of the relationship or move away from it. It's not that we're not happy, but the word satiety means full. So we have to come to the end of it, of what it can offer. So satiety is full. It's full. And once it's full, you don't keep adding to it. You don't keep like, all right, don't you hate that person once the party is over and they really attached to the party? Like, oh, don't leave. I want you to stay. I want to have another party. And you just like, bruh, I'm partied out. Like, I'm about to go home and, you know, get my smoke on and do what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, the 10 of cups is not, it's like you go through all of the cups. 1 of cups, 2 of cups, 3 of cups, 4 of cups, 5 o'clock, 6, like all of these cups. Get to the 10 of cups just to realize that no matter what I do emotionally, I will never be fulfilled. I will never reach the point of emotions that will give me the point where this is my wife and I love her and I will never have any longing for no other woman. I will have no other longing for no other man. This is the trap that you get yourself set up into. And if you don't alter the dynamic of the relationship or move away from it, it will become toxic, because everything can't be a party. Everything, emotional fulfillment is like pouring a cup of water into a cup. Whoever poured water into a cup and felt good about it, right? Like, I poured this water in this cup, y'all. I feel good about it. I'm gonna just leave it like it is. Ooh. Who does that? Whoever poured water into a cup and just felt good about it. You only feel good about it once you drink it. Once it's all gone, then you fill that thing up again. Then you drink it. Or then you might pour a cup of some good liquor and feel good about passing it to your friend. You understand? Passing it, these is all metaphors for emotions and water. Nobody looks at water within itself and thinks, this is all I need right now. At a certain point, you're going to have to drink. So why not put the things within your cup that you are find great sustenance in, and learn the cycle of party, time to go home. Time to go home, and find emotional fulfillment within yourself and your practice and meditation, and you might get somewhere. A lot of people find justification and fulfillment in the group, and the group be like, man, I got my own shit to do. I ain't worried about you. Trust me, Brennan, I feel the same. It's the same thing. Like, no matter what I do, no matter what I'm gonna do in life, is people that's gonna look at me like, well, you don't have a job at a Fortune 500 company, so you really ain't shit. That's on them. I'm just reading these comments. Yeah. When the lights come on. So yeah, man. Overall, the energy for today is positive, very positive, or very much of tormented by dealing with this illusion, as this illusion is really fading. And once this illusion fades, you could attach to the illusion and fade away with the illusion, or realize what is there after the illusion fades away. And that's your perfect, blameless spirit. And, read the 42 Confessions of Mayat. Realize everything that you are not, so you can get in touch with everything that you are. Exactly. Spirit don't give a shit about Fortune 500, Fortune 100, Fortune 1. Spirit cares about this moment in your soul, in your love, in your vibration. Sometimes it could be being able to pick up your child and hold them is about as bliss as you can get. But with that being said, I got some real bad hunger pains at this present moment, so I'm gonna figure out a little snack to eat, and I also have to prepare for a reading. So if anyone is interested in readings, please reach out to www.hoodmystic.com, the first tab to schedule a reading. Any questions, please email me at hoodmystic@gmail.com. This video was titled The Illusions of Glamour, taken from the play on words Delusions of Grandeur. I think Gucci Mane just put out a CD titled Delusions of Grandeur, and it was pretty decent. You're a Gucci Mane fan. But everybody have a great day. Be sure to reach out to me, Slack, Gmail, wherever. Text me if you got my number. Just reach out. I'm available.